Good morning. Today we are going to discuss about the Indo-Brazilian relationship in the economic sector. Basically, Brazil is the world's economic powerhouse, and at the same time India is the fastest growing economy in the world. Both the countries are constantly working towards the economical development. Basically, Brazil is working on the agricultural, renewable energy and the strategic level for the sustainability. To discuss on this subject, we have Ambassador Mr. Consul. Sir, when we are talking about the India and Brazil economical development and the bilateral ties, which are the major areas do you see that we can work together?
Yes, let me tell you a little bit about history so that you can have a better grasp of what is happening now. What is interesting to know that over the past 80 years, since India became independent, Brazil has also developed its own solutions. Like India, Brazil has also developed its own solutions to its difficulties, to its challenges. And after 80 years, we finally discovered or rediscovered each other, that we needed, that we could resort to each other, not only in the political arena, which was already happening since our recognition of India in 1947, but also in the economic arena. And that is challenging and that is interesting. You had your own trajectory, you found the solutions to your challenges, we found ours, and this is why we can exchange so much. Also, we're getting a little push, let's say a little stimulation, which is coming from up north, where things are not exactly predictable. And some countries have opted to put some pressure on us when we are not putting any pressure on them. So this has forced us to become closer, to come closer to each other and find solutions which bring our capacities together. You can see this, as you mentioned, in agriculture. You can see this in industry. You can see this in defense. You can see this in what we call in Brazil agro-energy, and many other fields. So this is the reason why your Prime Minister and my President are meeting at the G20, at the COP30 Environment Conference, at the UN, on BRICS meetings, on IPSA meetings. They meet 3-4 times a year. And in these meetings, they discuss prospects and projects, and they establish targets for our bilateral trade. So it's difficult for us as bureaucrats to meet these demands because they usually raise the bar very high, and to reach this bar we have to make a lot of effort. But I think we are going to reach the goals that they've established.
So if you see these bilateral ties for 2030, which are the major areas do you feel that where India and Brazil can work together? 2 to 3 major areas which we have to work more fast to improve the ties.
Yes, I would say that we have specific interest in areas where India has been excelling for the past decades. I would say pharma, I would say ITC, Internet Technologies and Communications. And I would say on our side, you have probably to gain if you cooperate with us in the field of what we call agro-energy and engineering in general terms.
So agri-energy, at the same time India is developing an agricultural AI, agricultural digital economy kind of a thing. So how the India can help to the Brazil in these sectors?
Well, we are attracting data centers to Brazil. Brazil has a substantial amount of energy, excess energy available. And this is attracting a lot of interest on the part of potential investors who wish to create data centers to operate out of Brazil to provide services for the whole continent. As you know, Brazil is 50% of the surface of South America. We have 60% of the population, and we have 75% of the GDP.
Great.
So operating out of Brazil, you're pretty much covering the whole continent.
So most of the, as you said, that the pharmaceutical sector is really growing in India, and India is a pharmaceutical manufacturing hub right now to the world. So how the India can contribute in a pharmaceutical sector in Brazil?
I can give you two examples. First of all, we need to increase our capacity in production of vaccines.
Okay.
We are already producing a lot. We have enough productivity for our population, but we have to increase this productivity so we can reach all the far ends of our territory, which is quite vast. So investments in increasing our capacity in vaccines is very important. You have a very creative number of companies which are constantly developing products. For example, I happened to visit a company not too long ago called Bio Energy, if I'm not mistaken. And this company is creating a procedure where it identifies in the blood system early stages of cancer traces. So if you consider that today more than 50% of cancer patients identify that they have cancer at stages 3 and 4, this company, this Indian company based in Mumbai,
Yep.
can identify these cancer traces at stage 0.
Oh.
And if you have that capacity, I'm just giving an example here, then you can actually treat the patient preventively. So this type of solutions, generally speaking, and your capacity of creativity is something that we welcome.
So at the same time, when we are talking about the pharmaceutical sector, even the agricultural and biofuel sector, Brazilian companies having a great expertise in biofuel, India is looking for that, and the renewable energy, which is a very growing sector in India right now. So how do you see the Maharashtra and Mumbai basically for these sectors for the targets of Brazilian economy?
I'll give you one concrete example that will provide some incentive to both your authorities and your industries. 20, 30 years ago, the levels of greenhouse gases, according to the AQI indexes in Sao Paulo, were very similar to what you have here in Mumbai today. What happened? We discovered, we made a profile of what were the emissions coming from. Where were the emissions coming from? They were from the hydroelectric plants, the coal-fired plants that generated electricity, and from the automobiles. So since the 70s, we've had a 50-year program where vehicles now in Brazil have, all the vehicles which have been produced in Brazil since 2008 can mix into the tank, into the motor, 100% of alcohol. So their emissions in that scenario are 93% less than in a regular gasoline scenario, okay? So this has provided for birds to come back to the cities.
Great.
This has provided for the trees to grow properly in the parks in downtown Sao Paulo, which is our Mumbai, okay?
Yeah.
We have in Sao Paulo over 20 million inhabitants. And the levels of pollution, according to AQI index in Sao Paulo, is 66. I saw that yesterday.
Oh.
Okay, for this talk here today. Your level at that same time was 169.
60, yeah.
So there is hope if you adopt this program, if you increase the mix of alcohol into your gasoline, and there's no limit, it's 100%. Now, today,
Yeah.
your car, your Maruti, your Mahindra, your MG, your Tata vehicle, you can mix into that gasoline 100% alcohol if you wish to.
Without doing any changes on
without
in the
doing
engine?
any changes.
Okay.
Your factories, your manufacturers can do that if they want to.
Great. So, and when we are talking about the both countries' economical types and developments, and both countries have their targets for 2030, but at the same time there are some hurdles. And from the Indian side, if we see that what things needs to be done to make it more faster.
Well, the hurdles is political decision. It's New Delhi, Parliament. They have to make the decisions. We made the decisions and we stuck to them. At some point, I remember in the late 80s, the price of gasoline went down and went down and went down. And people started talking in Congress, in Parliament, in Brazil, about the possibility of removing these incentives that we were giving to the alcohol producing companies in Brazil. And someone had the clear-mindedness of understanding that this reality may shift in the future, and we should stick to the policy of maintaining the incentives for the alcohol industry. And today we are reaping the benefits of that. So you can live, we have 80 to 90% of our population living in the cities. Can you imagine if we had that? You have 40% of your population living in the cities. Can you imagine if you had, like us, 90% of your population living in cities with these greenhouse gases emissions that you have today? The level of hospitals that you needed to receive a population which has problems in their lungs, infections in their lungs because of this, of inhaling these smogs. I would recommend highly that you recommend to your politicians, to your ministers who are very competent, very intelligent, to move into creating this framework, legal framework, for providing incentives for these industries to increase their productivity. And simultaneously, the auto industry will spontaneously adapt to these rules because they have to.
Yeah.
And then you will have cars which run with the same horsepower. They will be cleaner, the engines will last longer, and they will be able to provide better quality of life to the people in the city.
Yes, sir. At the same time, when we are talking about the biofuel, India is highly dependent on the other countries for their petroleum products. So how the Brazil can help in this sector to the India?
In two ways. First of all, the biggest product that we are selling to India right now is crude oil.
Yep.
Brazil is the biggest producer of offshore oil. Okay. And I understand that there are very good proof. There is very good proof that you have oil off your coast, which is enormous. Yes. We'll gladly cooperate with you in identifying areas where we can start producing oil off the coast of India, just like we are doing here. We were producing oil in Brazil up to 350 kilometers off the coast of Brazil. You can do the same.
Great. So we both are the democratic countries and biggest democracies in the world. Definitely, if India and Brazil come together on the various sectors and create the atmosphere to grow in those sectors and create the policies to have a better ties between the industries, then definitely we can have the expertise and solutions from each other in this sector. So thanks a lot for giving your precious time for this interview. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
देश विदेशातील प्रत्येक घडामोडींचे लाईव्ह अपडेट मिळवण्यासाठी आता साम टीव्हीच्या सर्व सोशल मीडिया प्लॅटफॉर्मला लाईक, फॉलो आणि सबस्क्राइब करा. तसंच सर्व नोटिफिकेशनसाठी बेल आयकॉन प्रेस करायला विसरू नका.